We vehemently apologize for those technical hitches that we are facing. But Bonnie, before we dropped off the internet and the web, we were talking about the deliberate, I would call it deliberate, entrance of the of a former president who also has the name of the first president, Jomo Kenyatta, suing government for allegedly taking away his fire following the proper procedures, and he also agreed to go to court. You never see such people agreeing to go to court. And do you think this is a deliberate placement of the first son of the former president?
Well, there is interest. There is interest to try to have someone who will maybe try to safeguard the property of the family, of course. We know that the Kenyatta family, it is in public knowledge that they have a lot of assets in this country. So the son maybe is being groomed to be the one who will be safeguarding the property. Not probably, it doesn't really mean that he will be upfronted for politics, but you know, he'll be like the point man, the point person. You know, the president is getting old, maybe after God calls. So you'll have someone who will be safeguarding the property and everything. Of course, they'll have say in politics, but it doesn't really mean that he will be fronted for positions in politics. But it also is a possibility. We've seen that happening with the Moi family. The sons have been, even the Kenyatta family itself, the son has been the president. So it is a possibility, but also it is something that they are taking up to be that person who will be on the limelight every time to defend the family if anything comes up. Yes.
Interesting there. And now, not unless there is anything else that you would like us to comment about on the Kenyan political scene, what are some of the things? Of course, the dialogue is going to be taking center stage in throughout the entire week. But what are some of the other telltale things that you're looking at coming out of this week in the political space?
It's going to be an interesting week. Of course, I think all weeks are interesting in Kenya. We also have
every single minute is interesting in Kenya.
Yes. So this week we're looking at a situation whereby we're going to focus on these people who are going to have dialogue. We're going to really be keen on what they discussed. If they really put the economy of the country at the helm of the discussion, if Azimio wins on that, or if Kenya Kwanza wins on that. We're also going to look at the mediation, if really, and if the government will accept he really mediated in that. So, and we're also looking at maybe other political sentiments that are going to come. I've heard that the Kenya Kwanza side is saying they are not going to share power. Both of these sides have very hard stances, and they're maintaining these hard stances. The end. I've looked at the Azimio side has said that they'll have maandamano even as this process goes on, you know. So we are looking at a position whereby both of these camps have hard stances, and how are they going to move on with this hard stance? Because I believe if the Azimio side goes into maandamano, I don't believe these talks will continue, you know, because the aim of the talks is to cool the political heat of this country. So if they break away and say that we're going to hold protests even as we talk, then I believe it's going to collapse. But let us see. Because in last week they dealt away with maandamano. As I said, that was the vigil and everything. That was just some to say that maandamano is off. You know?
to keep the people sort of hoodwinked with something. We are doing something, but we are not doing this again.
So we're looking at that position from Azimio and from Kenya Kwanza alike.
Seemingly, why would you think that the same old tricks are working for the former Prime Minister? Why would you think? Because when you look at the president, for sure, everybody thought that probably the president will never meet the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And if you compare the first bipartisan talks and you compare this kind of talks, they seem a little bit high stakes as compared to the first ones. Why do you think that the same old tricks? Because these are tricks that have been here. These are tricks that everybody literally in government has experienced.
Well, it is a bit different this time because the international community has taken really great concern about what is happening.
Sort of quote unquote, I'm not saying they've taken a side, but they've fallen so much aside of the government,
yes,
far apart from the government.
Yes,
yeah.
And well, if it was up to the president as himself, then I believe he would have made other choices for this. But the presidency is not just about one person. I think that is what also the president is realizing, that the entire country and the presidency is not just about you. It's about every one of us. And if I cannot go to work because these people are protesting, I also supported you, I'm also being affected by this maandamano. So you have to calm down and try to see a position whereby we are going to have peace in the country so that people can continue working, So the president is looking at a position whereby the everything that is happening in the country has to be right, so that he can even achieve the whatever the plan.
Agendas and manifestos.
Yes,
the plan.
Of course.
Underline the plan. And I want us to switch gears a little bit further and a little bit with more throttle. Now, where in the country where things happen so very fast.
Yes.
And if you just blink like this, things can pass you. And there are so many happenings that have been happening on the African continent. And when I see what is happening on the continent, it reminds me, I dig history in my days.
Yes.
And it reminds me the readings that I used to read about Kwame Nkrumah, the likes of Sankara,
yes,
and the likes of Nelson Mandela. Probably many will disagree. Conversation for today.
Questionable.
But
yes.
but this is sort of the feeling that Africa is sort of and a reawakening of some sort. And as this at the start of this reawakening, I would say it is on the pivotal of the involvement of Russia in Africa.
Yes.
And last week we had the Russia summit. Let's start your views.
Well, the Africa-Russia summit was, it happened, but it was not like the other one. I think the numbers were
a little bit minimal this time.
Yes, from 43, I think, to 17.
Yeah.
So there is a message that Africa is also sending, and Africa also, if you're talking about geopolitics and international politics, there is influence also from the West about how these things are happening.
Yeah.
And you can see that many countries from Africa didn't go. We are at a position whereby Russia is being criticized heavily by the West with the war in Ukraine. And that affected also the decisions of other African countries.
Of not going for the summit.
Exactly, and just sending representatives there. Yes. And about the awakening, maybe you can go there.
Before the awakening.
Yes.
Before the awakening. Before the awakening.
Yes.
Why do you think that, why would you say that many African countries, Russia, as an alternative to the West?
We have the formation of BRICS. I think that's the Russian influence and Chinese influence coming in Africa and other parts of the world.
Yeah.
Well, we are looking at a position where we have been having influence from the West. And many are seeing like this influence from the West has been there and has done little for us. So what is the alternative? The alternative is to look east and to look at Russia and China, because the principle that China has is non-interference. Non-interference in whatever happens.
Nani, Jeff, cheza clip, cheza yo clip ya Malema to switch battery.
Once you guys get tired, once you guys become lazy, once you become reluctant to fight, you must know the enemy has won. I will never get tired. No one can make me tired. I march forward to the victory of our people. The revolution in South Africa is guaranteed that under the EFF, this country will be the better. Stand up, South Africa. Make sure that South Africa, you are counted with me. Run, South Africa. Stand and make sure that our people understand that they need to be counted. You that they need to be counted. You must be counted. You must be part of history. You must make sure that you are one of the people who are going to deliver economic freedom in our lifetime. Freedom in our lifetime. Amanga! Once you guys get tired, once you guys become lazy, once you become reluctant to fight, you must know the enemy has won. I will never get tired. No one can make me tired. I march forward to the victory of our people. The revolution in South Africa is guaranteed that under the EFF, this country will be the better. Stand up, South Africa. Make sure that South Africa, you are counted with me. Rise, South Africa. Stand and make sure that our people understand that they need to be counted. You must be counted. You must be part of history. You must make sure that you are one of the people who are going to deliver economic freedom in our lifetime. Freedom in our lifetime. Amanga! Once you guys get tired, once you guys become lazy, once you become reluctant to fight, you must know the enemy has won. I will never get tired. No one can make me tired. I march forward to the victory of our people. The revolution in South Africa is guaranteed that under the EFF, this country will be the better. Stand up, South Africa. Make sure that South Africa, you are counted with me. Rise, South Africa. Stand and make sure that our people understand that they need to be counted. You must be counted. You must be part of history. You must make sure that you are one of the people who are going to deliver economic freedom in our lifetime. Freedom in our lifetime. Amanga! Once you guys get tired, once you guys become lazy, once you become reluctant to fight, you must know the enemy has won. I will never get tired. No one can make me tired. I march forward to the victory of our people. The revolution in South Africa is guaranteed that under the EFF, this country will be the better. Stand up, South Africa. Make sure that South Africa, you are counted with me. Rise, South Africa. Stand and make sure that our people understand that they need to be counted. You must be counted. You must be part of history. You must make sure that you are one of the people who are going to deliver economic freedom in our lifetime. Freedom in our lifetime. Amanga! Once you guys get tired, once you guys become lazy, once you become reluctant to fight, you must know the enemy has won. I will never get tired. No one can make me tired. I march forward to the victory of our people. The revolution in South Africa is guaranteed that under the EFF, this country will be the better. Stand up, South Africa. Make sure that South Africa, you are counted with me. Rise, South Africa. Stand and make sure that our people understand that they need to be counted. You must be counted. You must be part of history. You must make sure that you are one of the people who are going to deliver economic freedom in our lifetime. Freedom in our lifetime. Amanga! Once you guys get tired, once you guys become lazy, once you become reluctant to fight, you must know the enemy has won. I will never get tired. No one can make me tired. I march forward to the victory of our people. The revolution in South Africa is guaranteed that under the EFF, this country will be the better. Stand up, Save South Africa. Make sure that South Africa, you are counted with me. Run South Africa. Stand and make sure that our people understand that they need to be counted. You must be counted. You must be part of history. You must make sure that you are one of the people who are going to deliver economic freedom.
And we were, before we played that clip, I want us to go back a little bit on the conversation that we're talking about. Why are African states, and particularly those from West Africa, the likes of Niger, the likes of the Central African Republic, and the likes of Ivory Coast,
Yes.
if I'm not wrong, why are they looking at Russia as an alternative to the West?
Well, on that, I'll take you back. First of all, we have to understand what is at common with these countries.
Yeah.
They were all French colonized countries. That I'll take you back to France in 1994 and in the 80s to the 90s. Well, the policy that France had on all this has been to have deeper relations with countries, you know, to have to be involved in every decision-making process of countries, and to come out with a nation that is heavily dependent on France. And I can remember through history, that is, because I wasn't there in the 80s. Through history, we have France, before 80s, it was very, very involved in these countries. And the strategy that France was using is to support leaders regardless of their behavior, regardless of how they took governance in their countries. So we had a France that was supporting even strongmen, you know, dictators. And this really turned bad on them in 1994 as they were supporting as the France that was in this country, Rwanda, you know. So it was supporting the then president who committed atrocities by killing Hutus and moderate Tutsis, 800,000 in number. And you know, that genocide really was really bad to France. And we even saw the other day that Macron admitted for the first time that France had a hand in giving
in
support.
The genocide in Rwanda.
So during that time, France had to change strategy. It realized that supporting strongmen was not really good, you know. So from the mid-90s came a France that was now giving space for these countries
to make their own decisions.
Yes, just to support them in development and maybe democracy. Now, when you come to 2007, around 2007, we had President Sarkozy, who started also again supporting strongmen or strong families in countries, the likes of Ali Bongo of Gabon, you know. So France started to be seen as that country of the 80s again, you know. Come to the following president around 2013, 2012, we have Francois Hollande. Francois Hollande knew that there is need for reform, for France to change its strategy in these countries that they were supporting, you know. But he was held tight and had to send the army to Sahel, the Sahel region. Now that's the region that we're going to discuss, you know. This Sahel region was starting to be infiltrated with the IS and all these terror groups, you know. And France, as the parent company of these countries, had to put in their muscle, you know. So Francois Hollande had to send army to the Sahel region, and through that now France forgot its strategies to reform. You know, it started to concentrate on the same way that the US was concentrating on Afghanistan. You know, so after that, now we have the current president, Macron. Macron is a very, very strong person in terms of the comments and the opinions that he gives. He doesn't want to look weak, you know. And you can even see in the protest that France has right now regarding the cost of the pension, whatever, you know. So Macron started really well by acknowledging the faults that France did, you know. But towards the middle of his first tenure, we have problems starting to occur because of his strong stances. And there was an accident that happened, I've remembered, I've forgotten the year, which involved a helicopter crash.
Yeah.
13 people, 13 French troops passed on during as a cause of that accident.
Yeah.
And what did Macron do? He called the heads of states of those involved countries to immediately come to France. And that was not a good show from France, because other countries were also with those people who died. Many of those also died. And now France was being seen as taking this superior kind of country against all these other. So people started seeing France as a country that is expressing neo-colonialism, you know. So towards now, what happened in these countries for the coups and everything, we're just seeing people who are tired of French neo-colonialism, as they say it. We're seeing people who are devastated. They have had French influence over a period of time. And they believe, you know, some believe that this is a Western country. This is a country that should be here to get rid of these people, these terrorists at once. You know, they have the machinery, they have the most sophisticated kind of weapons. And they are not getting rid of these terror groups. So they're saying, I think you've had enough in this country. We've given you a chance. You've not done anything. We are still suffering. You know, our people are still being killed by these terror groups. What have you been doing? So that in that confusion, speculation also comes in. That no, they are here because perhaps they are mining and taking our mines away. You know, they are taking our oil and everything. Of course, we cannot deny here, and we cannot confirm that this happens, you know. So in light of all this, we have people who are really saying that enough is enough. You know, you've been here, we've given you a chance, you are not doing anything, we want change. And something that you can really listen keenly to these people. If you listen keenly to them, they're not saying that we want independence. They're not saying that we want to govern ourselves just because a foreign country was here. They're saying we want alternative. That is why you're seeing these presidents went to Russia, and they are now depending on the Wagner group to help them to come out of these problems that they have. So that is what is actually happening.
And that account is very intriguing and indeed downright interesting there. But that alternative is where I have a bone to chew with. When is Africa entirely going to stop looking for alternatives? Because even the alternative that they are going for, Yevgeny Prigozhin tried to take over Russia just the other day. And we honestly do not know up to date what Mr. Putin is thinking about to do to Yevgeny Prigozhin. We haven't seen, because the kind of Putin that we know, that is not dalliance. He will not have any dalliance with Yevgeny. So there is something that also they have not sort of yet settled. They have scores that they haven't settled on their end. But then you have an Africa that is also, let me say a West Africa, because also President Ruto was invited, he turned down the invitation. But we have a West Africa that is running to the east of through Russia. Why do we have to look for alternatives? Can't we just stay in our country and make things work? And probably I carried this out of context. There are so many languages. There are alternative local languages that are spoken in Ivory Coast, right? And I'm picking a bone with, or I'm picking a point with the youngest leader in Africa, Ibrahim Traore. That is the president of Ivory Coast. You are saying that this country is oppressing you. But even when you go to international visits, you still speak in their language. Why don't you go with an English translator and speak in your mother tongue, and any Ivory Coast mother tongue, and say, enough is enough. I am not even going to address the world in your language, to show that indeed you are frustrated with these people. Am I reading from a totally different script, or this is something that you're also saying? Because I believe we're making the same mistake with a different person.
Exactly. As I always say, these are just the same people. You know, you cannot say that you are leaving the West to turn East, because these people still, they will treat you almost the same, in a similar way.
The philosophy still remains the same.
Exactly. We have allegations of Russia in Congo, in Central African Republic.
And they're not allegations, those ones. They are not allegations. And these are things that even Wagner itself has admitted to.
Yes. That they're taking mines, that they're siding with rebels in some areas. They are just creating a kind of a confusion in the country so that other things can happen without public knowledge. So Africa really has a long way to go, because we are at a position where we cannot depend on ourselves, depend on what African can stand for. You know, if you have that leader who will say, we don't want the East, we don't want the West, we only want to depend on Africa. We have Africa. For example, that the summit that was in Russia. The heads of state did really have to go. You know, Africa Union is there to represent.
It would have represented.
Exactly, and it has representation from all these 54 states. You know, they could have gone there and represented Africa. But you know, we have that mindset that we have to be seen there. We have to look like we are really, really into this country, so that they can support us. At the end of the day, whether you are looking east or west, these people are going to take you and take advantage of your need.
Your weaknesses, because they already know that they already know your sort of your weaknesses, and they are just going to sort of I often call it pepper spray. Pepper spray your weaknesses, take them away for a minute. You fall into their bed. Once they have you by the jaws, they repeat the same cycle that probably other oppressors, quote unquote oppressors, have taken you through.
And if you look at these countries that have undergone coup in the name of change, you find that these leaders of the coup are still continuing with the same things that the other leaders who have left office or in that
ousted office,
that they were doing, you know. And now you start a long chain of coups that is unending, because you're not satisfied with whatever is happening.
Absolutely, because when what is happening in Sudan is not entertaining, and there is nothing to laugh about what is happening in Sudan. But exactly, we are seeing chains and chains and chains of coups, and you wonder, when are they ever going to end? But there is something that I laughed at when this was very funny, and I think I had an argument with somebody morning today when they said, it's good that Africa, they are looking for an alternative in Russia. Good. And I asked them, how would you tell me that you're looking for an alternative in Russia just because they're going to give you grain? And in grain I mean maize and wheat and all of that. And you are the most fertile continent in the world. That is one. And two, how dare the coldest country in the world, make this make sense to me. How dare the coldest country in the world come to your rescue to give you food with the kind of weather you enjoy in your own country?
You know, Alan, that is true. And these countries, these major countries in the world, they're not taking us very seriously, you know, because that is the hard truth.
I wonder.
That is the hard truth. They are flexing their muscles with us. You know, when Russia calls Africa heads of states and they turn up to be 17, they line up and take a photo. That photo is not for us. It's for Russia to tell the West, look at energy. We are coming for your plate. That is exactly what is being done. Because when BRICS start forming and they say, BRICS has 34 applications, it has all these applications from Africa and everything, they're just flexing the West. You know, at the end of the day, Russia is only competing with the West.
So it's not competing with Africa. Africa is a very small jigs in this puzzle.
If they are really, really concerned about competing with Africa and making Africa better, they should engage each country in their own. Because you cannot have a whole delegation of presidents and speak to them in one day and say that you have their interests at heart. It doesn't really happen like that.
I think we'll dedicate a whole episode on BRICS, because how I'm looking at BRICS, BRICS for me, when I read the genesis of BRICS, and BRICS people and I'm to be corrected if I'm wrong, but people believe that the genesis of BRICS is from Russia, China, Brazil, and South Africa.
Yeah.
But when you research the word BRICS, it was first coined by the former boss of the biggest bank in the world, or the biggest fund managers in the world, and it's out of the United States. And this is about 10 years ago. This is the first time the word BRICS came into existence. And to me, if I